Okay, so Assalamualaikum and very good day to our panels, judges, audiences, as well as viewers who are currently watching this virtual pitching session. And thank you so much for your time by having me as a speaker for this virtual pitching session, which I really appreciate that. Okay, so before we kick off, I just want to ask you a question, which sounds like, have you ever heard about this technology that could able to recognize and monitor your movement from a device to an application? Okay, what I mean by application is mobile application. Okay, if that sounds familiar to you, some of you might have heard about it and some of you might not, but never mind. So now I would like to introduce to you a project that we work on. We called it as Protecc, Protecc, together with the tagline innovating care through artificial intelligence. Okay, so technically speaking, this project is actually a hybrid between artificial intelligence, AI, and IoT, Internet of Things. Alright. So, according to WHO, World Health Organization, by 2050, the world will have more than 2 billion people over the age of 60, and that is actually about 25% of the world population. Okay, and not just that, it was also predicted that the speed of population for the people over the age of 60 will also double. Be in mind that not just the increase of the quantity, but also the velocity. Okay. So how do you think we as a young generation, or maybe our next young generation, will be able to cope with the increase of these numbers efficiently? So this is why assistive technology is so much needed in the upcoming future. Okay, so the idea on developing Protecc was actually inspired by an initiative to help or to assist the elderly. What I mean by elderly is our senior generation, the old folks, especially in terms of their health. Okay, so did you guys aware that Malaysia is expected to be an aging nation by the year of 2030, which is about less than 10 years from now? Okay, so that was actually announced by Tan Sri Lee Lam Thai during his interview with NSD on 2019. Okay, talking about aging and health. Okay, so there are actually several needs on having a healthy aging, ranging from the creation of age-friendly environment to the development of a system for long-term care. Okay, so in fact, with a massive increase in technology adoption by the elderly and the growing number of elderly care providers, this will actually contribute to a massive demand for technology to serve the elderly. Okay, so by having this project also, we try to strive for one of the sustainable development goals, which is good health and well-being. Okay, so to strengthen our points on the needs of having Protecc as an assistive technology for the elderly, I also highlighted several papers which are informal care between responsibility and burden. So this paper will actually give some awareness on why taking care for elderly is a noble job. Okay, and for the technical side, we also highlighted a paper on a review on application for activity recognition system with regard to performance and evaluation. Okay, so this paper is actually quite important for us in order to come up with a fresh and solid idea for activity recognition system focusing on the elderly. Okay, so now we will go a little bit more details on how Protecc could become an assistive technology for the future use. Okay, so basically Protecc is actually a wearable, smart, and yet intelligent strap devices for the elderly. Okay, what I mean by strap device is that Protecc can be worn by the elderly around their wrist lah. Okay, like a watch. Okay, so by having Protecc, we actually wanted to know several crucial events or activity done by the elderly. Okay, for instance, first we wanted to know if they have not gotten out of bed yet, sleeping for too long. Why is it? Okay, second, we wanted to know if they're encountering some unpleasant sleep, not sleeping very well, especially at the nights. Okay, so third, we wanted to know if things happens differently than usual. Okay, something wrong with the activity done by the elderly. Okay, so fourth, we wanted to know if they are skipping their meals, okay, for unknown reason. Okay, so, for instance, like they should have their lunch on 12 noon, for instance, but they do not have their lunch on that particular time, but it jumps to tea on the evening or something like that. Okay, and worst case, we actually wanted to know if they are falling down. Okay, that is one of the dangerous thing that we're most concerned about, since elderly, they are very vulnerable. Okay, so by noticing all these changes early, it could also lead to an early intervention. So specifically, Protecc strap will actually collect motion signal for activity recognition. Okay, so by recognizing all these activities done by these elderly, Protecc will be able to monitor their daily activities for anomalies detection. Okay, so not just that, Protecc also comes with its own mobile application that shows the elderly's activity and insights. Okay, so last but not least, Protecc app will also trigger some warning messages when the elderly is facing some sort of trouble or having some unwanted accident. Okay, so basically we try to combine artificial intelligence, AI, and IoT, Internet of Things, together in one whole process. Okay, so inside this process, there will be several modules lah. One of the modules is the Protecc strap itself, where it was built with two types of microcontrollers or sensors, namely accelerometer sensor and gyrometer sensor, which it tries to collect all the motion readings generated by the movement of the elderly, and then all the readings will be transferred wirelessly into Raspberry Pi. So inside the Raspberry Pi is the place where our AI algorithm take place, which the data will be processed using our AI algorithm. We call it as LSTM, long short-term memory, and all the prediction and recognitions will happen inside the Raspberry Pi. After that, the output from the recognition process, the prediction process, will then be transferred wirelessly to our server or database, just so our mobile application or Protecc app will able to request all the necessary data from the database and display all the insight of the recognition process that happened on the Raspberry Pi. Okay, so in terms of project originality, we are focusing mainly on the algorithm that we use to process all the signals from the Protecc straps and came up with an accurate prediction for activity recognition. Okay, so previously we have seen several projects that implement traditional machine learning methods such as SVM, standard vector machine, KNN, K nearest neighbor, and many other traditional machine learning methods in recognizing activity in real time. But there are also drawbacks from the traditional machine learning method, which it shows unsatisfying accuracy. So now, in this project, we adopt latest generation of machine learning algorithm. We call them as LSTM, long short-term memory, okay, for activity recognition. So as a comparison, we try to experiment a number of 1 million signals, okay, signals data into both LSTM, long short-term memory algorithm, and another machine learning algorithm. We call it as GRU, gated recurrent unit. And the experiment result shows that LSTM performs better in terms of accuracy with 98% compared to GRU, gated recurrent unit, which shows lower accuracy compared to LSTM. Apart from algorithm, the data that we use in this project is signal data. So the uniqueness of our project is the signal data is extracted in real time, and the accuracy also is quite promising for activity recognition. Okay, so when it comes to innovation's applicability, Proteccs are able to overcome very important problems regarding elderly. One of the problems that can be solved by Protecc is to monitor the movement as well as the activity done by the elderly. So the changes in activity becomes the main indication to determine a particular individual's well-being. Okay, so it will enable an early intervention. So our current status for this innovation is still on the prototyping stages. Even it is still on the prototyping stage, it has shown a very promising result and came up with a very good prediction and a very good accuracy as well. And anyway, when we talk about the commercialization potential, Protecc actually can be seen as a technology that possesses a very high potential to be commercialized, not just in a local market, but also in a global market. What I mean by global market is the international market lah. This is because when we look into an international market survey, the global elderly market care is expected to account for $1.9 million on 2027. So this actually shows us that the demand for assistive technology such as Protecc for the elderly are also most likely to be increased as well. So when we do our own surveys among Malaysians, we have found that a total of 84% respondents are interested to use Protecc to help them taking care of their elderly, their beloved parents, of course. So not just that, currently this project also has built a research collaboration with one of the tech industries in Malaysia. So I attached together the letter of intent that shows our research collaboration with AI bots. Okay, and not just that, we also have already submitted our IP, intellectual property copyrights, and currently we are also waiting for the application to be successfully processed. So this is the proof from UTeM. Okay, so before we ended this pitching session, I would like to introduce to you with our awesome research team, which consists of our main researcher, Associate Professor Dr. Sharifah Sakinah Syed Ahmad, and our main technical programmer, developer for this project, which has contributed so much effort on making sure that this project is successfully executed, Mr. Haskil Afiq, and of course our industry and research collaborator, Encik Mahathir, CEO from AI Bots, and me, Hakim Hamdan, from digital marketing and promotion side. And yep, I think that's all from this pitching session and from us also. And thank you so much for your time. Assalamualaikum and very good day.